Once again, terrorists have tried to strike the United States in what President Obama calls a credible terror threat. 2 packages containing explosives were addressed to synagogues in Chicago, but acting on a tip from the Saudis, authorities intercepted them today. One aboard a cargo plane in England, the other a cargo plane in Dubai. Both packages were sent from the same address in Yemen. Our justice correspondent Bob Orr in Washington is following this still developing story. And Bob, there was some thought initially that this was an attempt to test the system.
Well, Katie, U.S. officials now increasingly believe it was a real attempt to do real harm. And there's little doubt in anyone's mind that the 2 potential bombs found on U.S.-bound cargo jets were the handiwork of a Yemen-based terror group that's tried to hit us before. The terror plot was revealed when 2 packages, shipped from Yemen and bound for 2 synagogues in Chicago, were found to contain bomb components and explosives inside printer cartridges. This device, discovered on a UPS cargo plane in England, and another found on a FedEx jet in Dubai, contains syringes, white powder, wiring, and cell phone parts. And late today, the president confirmed the packages were potentially lethal.
They do apparently contain explosive material.
Sources say the devices contained the explosive chemical compound PETN, one of the deadly ingredients that was also part of the underwear bomb used by Umar Farouk Abdul-Muttalib in his failed Christmas Day attack in Detroit. The underwear bomb was built by terrorists in Yemen, who are part of al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula. And officials strongly suspect today's attempted attack was also the work of the same group. One of AQAP's leaders is American-born cleric Anwar al-Awlaki, who was also the radical inspiration for accused Fort Hood gunman Nidal Hassan.
What you have is a hardened core of al-Qaeda operatives operating in a safe haven of Yemen, trying to hit the United States and trying to do it creatively and effectively.
The discovery of the suspect devices overseas led U.S. authorities to quarantine and search 3 UPS cargo jets, which arrived today in Philadelphia and Newark. Sources say officials were on the lookout for 10 to 20 packages that were shipped from Yemen at about the same time as the apparent bombs. Nothing dangerous was found, but the scare sent security forces scrambling on multiple fronts. In New York City, police pulled over a UPS truck. And late today, fighter jets escorted a passenger plane inbound to New York from Dubai, thought to be carrying packages from Yemen. Searches of the truck and the passenger plane revealed no new dangers. Officials do not know if the devices found in England and Dubai were designed to explode in the air, or in fact needed to be detonated by a person on the ground, presumably once they arrived in Chicago.
They were not letters, they were larger than that. Think about bread boxes or so in terms of, maybe size. We don't know yet how they were intended to be activated.
And it's not clear yet that the devices contained enough material or the right combination of materials to produce an explosion. But al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has experienced bomb makers. Previous explosives have been hidden in cassette cases, picture frames, and radios.
Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, a terrorist group based in Yemen, continues to plan attacks against our homeland, our citizens, and our friends and allies.
Now, sources say U.S. officials have been worried for about the past month or so about some kind of new plot coming out of Yemen. But the specifics that allowed security forces today to find those devices came only yesterday in a tip from the Saudis. Katie?
And Bob, what do officials believe these terrorists were really trying to do?
Well, in a perfect world, I think they were trying to blow up a couple of bombs, maybe aboard the plane, maybe in Chicago. But even if that's not the total package, they were also looking perhaps at a diversion or testing the system, maybe some kind of probe, or if nothing else, trying to sow fear and disrupt things. It certainly disrupted a lot of activities today in U.S. airports.
And also, Bob, on our Facebook page, Mason Early, I think, speaks for a lot of Americans when he asks, are we safe?
It's a good question. It's a question intelligence officials ask themselves every day. I think we are safer than we were in 9/11. There are a lot of defenses in place. But look at all the things that have happened in the past 6 months. The attempt in Detroit, what happened at Fort Hood, the attempt against the New York City subway system, and now today. It's clear that our enemies, the terrorists, are trying to adapt their systems as well.
And
Katie?
Bob, Evan C., also on Facebook, asks, are packages X-rayed the same as luggage on domestic flights? And if so, how did the packages make it past the process?
Well, the answer is they're not. They're kind of spot-checked. It's an intelligence-based system to look at the highest-risk packages, but that is, critics say, a real hole in the system, Katie.
All right. Bob Orr in Washington. Bob, thanks very much.